Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Filip Radukić and I'm the Business Development Manager and Subject Matter Expert for Digital Twins here at CAXperts. And today's topic has kind of got to do with both of these areas. We're going to talk about the next major release of UniversalPlantViewer, formerly known under the project name NT for New Technology, and now becoming UPV 7.0. Before we start, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to state them in the questions panel here in the webinar. And due to the really wide range of topics we're going to cover today, we won't be able to do a Q&A session. So I will be answering those questions after the webinar by email, or we can even arrange individual face-to-face meetings in Teams, Zoom, whatever, to discuss your issues and see how UPV 7 can actually help you achieve your goals. So this being said, let's actually start. But instead of looking into UPV 7, let's first take a glance back in the past. So UPV has actually set new benchmarks with every new major release from the beginning. So while version 1 came out more than 10 years ago, UniversalPlantViewer has been an innovation driver ever since and redefined model visualization by establishing itself as an industry standard for robust, reliable viewing capabilities. So with every new major release, I would say, revolutionized model scalability by enhancing our software to handle increasingly larger models without compromising, but even improving performance. And with every new major release, UPV introduced innovative features designed to meet the dynamic needs of the industry and supporting an ever-growing range of functionalities. Thus, UPV has grown far beyond a simple viewing tool to become an essential part of the workflow in plant management, embodying both versatility and integration for really comprehensive project oversights. And with UPV 7.0, we actually want to kind of keep up with that tradition. So UPV in its 7th iteration continues pushing those boundaries even further. So UPV 7 literally shatters previous limitations, allowing for the seamless handling of complex, large-scale models with unparalleled efficiency. And we've refined the interface and workflows a little bit to ensure that UPV 7 is not only powerful, but also intuitive and even more user-friendly than UPV already used to be. So with enhanced compatibility and integration features, UPV 7 acts as a central hub for diverse project data and applications, basically serving as a single point of truth in a hybrid approach for digital twin. UPV 7.0 is equipped to accommodate current and future developments in plant design and management. So becoming highly customizable, UPV 7.0 is not only data agnostic, I would say it's even future agnostic. What does this mean? Well, basically with the new features we added, you can take on challenges that today you don't even know exist and still make sure that you're ready for the future. So what's new in UPV 7? We've got a revised user interface. We are introducing the multi-window feature, and we're introducing app controls. So this is the obvious changes under the hood. We've actually changed even more to really, as I mentioned before, improve performance and give you the best user experience there is. But let's go through these points step by step. First of all, the revised user interface. So what has changed? Well, first of all, we have rearranged some of the icons from the main left menu, moving over to the files tree to make a more centralized approach to certain features and functions. Then some of you might have known that UPV had a minimap, but it was not really widely used, and probably for a reason. So instead, we created a new enhanced minimap with enhanced features that helps you navigate through the model a lot easier. But instead of actually showing you some screenshots here, why don't we just take a look straight into the model and see what this actually means. So the REST user interface, while we had the file management button here, usually expanding, giving us like a range of features. Now, when I click on it, all that happens is on the right side, the file tree opens and closes. So it's become a toggle. But where are all our loading and saving functionalities? They're all here in this menu. So now we can load display styles or select them directly here from the ribbon. We can save data, so saving UPVF files, saving 3D objects, saving your configuration files, your UPV files, or even exporting markups, and again, loading everything here. So it's all a little bit cleaner and centralized. So the settings are right here, not opening up an expanding menu again, and same for the configure project tree and toggle tree view tree bar. And talk about the settings, let's actually open the settings and activate the minimap here. Now I can close the settings again. So what does the minimap do? Well, first of all, we can zoom in, zoom out, move around in the minimap, and I can even go in and just double click and it sets my main view on the right position. So with the slider here, we can actually set our position above ground. And as I moved upwards, you actually might have noticed that those red spheres in the minimap have actually become less transparent and opaque. What is this? Yes, this is actually our laser scan position. So when I click on one of those spheres, it will take me directly into my bubble views. So I can move around, and even if I close the bubble view here, I can move around. But what if I want to turn the bubble views on again? Well, instead of going to the settings like it was previously, now we go to the left menu of viewing options up here, and now I can toggle the bubble view spheres directly from this view. So what else has changed? Well, in the user interface, one minor detail, let me actually reset my model here. And that's when I select attributes, by being able to actually scale this now, I can now, oops, that's not what I wanted to do, but that's all right. Now I can actually click on this line and define the split between the attributes and the values to make it even better readable. And obviously, you've seen when I click on a value and drag it onto my 3D viewport, I'm actually setting a comment, which I'm gonna delete again now. Yes. So, what else have we got? The multi-window feature. Well, what is the multi-window feature? The multi-window feature allows us to split every single part of our view in another two views. That way we can arrange different windows and different functionalities to basically suit our needs and suit our requirements. So what would this look like in a live environment? Let's go back to our live demo model that we just had opened and play around with that. So for example, let's say I want to have my files tree underneath my attributes. So I can do this now, but just clicking the tab and dragging it around. So when I drag the files over to my main view, you can now see that I can actually place it here or here or here. So the white part shows which split of the window it's going to occupy. And if I want to put it back here, I can just pick the center one and it will add it into the selected window as yet another tab again. So with this type of arrangement, I can really do a lot of, let's call it magic, but one of the major features that we have with this is by opening a P&ID, and let's now place the P&ID as a split view underneath our 3D view, which is great. But if I, for example, pick this pump now and say, okay, see the attributes are the context of my active window. I click one 3D objects found. Now it highlights my 3D object and my attributes are displayed in the context of my 3D window here. And on the other hand, I select E240 now, which is on a different P&ID. It doesn't matter, it will open the other P&ID right underneath here and highlight my T240 column or stack or whatever this is. So this is just a quick overview of what the multi-window feature can actually bring. But let's actually look at the next feature, and that's probably the most powerful one. That's the app controls. So first of all, what are app controls? Well, app controls are a powerful tool within UPV that enables users to customize and enhance their interaction with the software. They serve as the building blocks for tailoring the UPV experience to individual project needs. Even though the example is not really 100%, but imagine it a little bit like you're doing a spreadsheet in Excel and you need a certain function, exact function that Excel does not provide. So instead of waiting for Microsoft to kind of get that on their roadmap and integrate it in Excel, you can just create a VBA macro, a function where you program your function and then use it in your spreadsheet like it's always been there without even realizing that it's some external programming. And that's similar to the app controls approach. So they allow for the integration of external application, the automation of tasks, and the personalization of the workflow, ensuring a more efficient and user-defined environment. So basically adapt UPV to fit the unique demands of various engineering projects easily and seamlessly, and incorporate new functionalities as the projects evolve. What does this mean in total? Well, streamline your processes and reduce the time spent on routine tasks and create a fully integrated digital twin as a hybrid between single source and single point of truth, but presented in one central location, and that's UPV 7.0. Well, how do app controls integrate? As you can see here, they're also with the Windows management, just like any other window, placeable anywhere on the UPV screen, split, whatever. And they are stored either as a link or as an offline app control inside the files tree and can be opened directly to your viewport. How does this work in the background? Well, basically, app controls are HTML5 applications. They can utilize any type of framework that supports or that's based on JavaScript. So this can be Angular, React, Vue.js, Svelte, Node.js for the backend, whatever. And the app control code you program can access the UPV API and directly connect to UPV core functionality, while on the other hand, it can also access an external API to connect to any type of external application and show information from outside or even write back information to that external app, while you still have the seamless experience like it's an integral part of UPV itself. So how would the integrated digital twin implemented on UPV 7 look like? Well, obviously, UPV is not a digital twin, a full digital twin solution by itself. UPV holds 3D model information, laser scan information, drawings, P&IDs, isometrics, attributes. That's all fine. But to kind of get it to work as a really powerful digital twin, well, it can integrate with any type of external systems like Oracle Unifier, Oracle Primavera P6, Microsoft Power BI, various SQL DBs, for example, engineering databases that you have in your company, or for example, connect to SAP PM or any other source or API you could think of. So let's look at a live demo for app controls as well. Let's go back to a model again. Close these P&IDs, go to a files tree, and open the app controls here. Maybe also reset my view. Great. So one of the use cases or demos I would like to show you is the integration of IoT data. So what if UPV is connected to a database that is feeding live sensor input? I just click on the eye symbol and my live data view is loaded. And you see automatically my model highlights according to certain warnings and errors. So it says, you can probably read it well, it says D240, error, temperature is high. So when I click on it, it will highlight my D240 and it will show me the temperature and pressure levels coming from the IoT sensors. So while I'm looking at it, in the background, for whatever reason, the vessel is cooling down and the IoT sensors now report a change in temperature, and the temperature is actually lowered below critical level, just to a warning level, and it turns directly yellow. So this is a nice example. You saw it was a very simple UI. What if I actually wanted to have a more sophisticated UI? Well, you can also work with any type of frameworks like this one here. So when I click on the plus, you see red is danger, yellow or orange is warning, green is no warning. And as temperature changes or pressure changes, this actually adapts to it as well. So in the case of our D240, the temperature is still decreasing and suddenly it turns green and it disappears from the list unless I uncheck here, show only warnings and errors. So basically we get a full overview of all IT sensors we have there. So we can have health, safety, and environment zones set up. So let me pull this out as well, where I can highlight all of them and say show, and it would put up blocks according to the color. And I could easily create also a new block, for example, saying, okay, I want between here and here, I want to have an escape way. So it will be escape test. Type would be escape way. EW03. Save my changes. Go back, and my escape test is showing exactly in the area that I selected. So even though these applets that I'm showing you, these app controls, might not be of any practical use, they're actually quite good to showcase the functionality of UPV, like also this dummy lock list editor, where I can actually click here on my object in my lock list, my isolation list, and well, I'll go to attributes and say state should be hold on, closed. Now it turns, why did it turn yellow, not green? Well, I didn't enter a lock number. So entering a lock number will actually fulfill the requirements, and I can now go ahead and do the same thing with the next objects in my list and say, okay, key number, and so on. So obviously this is not an isolation point tool. It's just a visualization how UPV could connect to such a tool. So going back to my files tree and looking at yet another possible use case, and that is, hold on. Just want to revert my colors. There we go. Still highlighting my objects here. Let me just reset my view. Revert colors. Go to my attributes, and here we go. So the simulation, I'll say always load simulation directly, is yet another use case where we have a simulation database in the back end, saying yellow is an operation pressurized, purple inactive pressurized, and white drained safe to remove, and green and red are just the open close states of the valves. And in this simulator, I'll just select a valve here and say, okay, open close. And you see the rest here turns purple. And now I can also close this one here. But since I want to maintain operation, I'll click on this so we have the flow reestablished. And closing these, or actually open these valves, we get a view here. And this is telling us now that this is safe to be removed. So let's go through another example, and this is one is actually a bit more advanced, and that's when we're talking about PDF P&IDs. So I have one right here. So working with PDF P&IDs, you see it's actually taking me straight to the tag, since we're doing tag recognition here. But what if I actually want to add the graphics to it? So there was no way to do this until now. So with an app control, and this one was actually developed by one of our partner companies for us, I can just select a category to group by, for example, by equipment name, and it will get me a list of equipments we have. And when I click on them, I actually see that it's highlighting the whole object and not just the tag. Well, how would this work? Well, this works quite easy in this case, that we hit edit and we select basically child objects. For my W003 here, I just pulled a fence or added objects by hitting Control, and all I had to do is just say add selected, and it would add all these child objects. And when I save it, actually gets me a list, and I can export this and use this for the Excel import. So next time I process my dumb PDF P&ID, it actually gets fully intelligent, giving me basically almost full functionality as if it were drawn in an intelligent P&ID system. So besides these examples, there's also a couple more. Let me open a different model for this. For example, having a fully grown solution for installation work packages. So this is not a really full AWP solution, but for installation work packages, it does a really good job here. So it allows me to select individual packages and highlight them in my model. I can easily add or remove components, and this looks like it's seamlessly part of UPV, but it's not. It's an app control. It's an external application running inside of UPV and combining both worlds into one, basically having a system in the back end that's holding the data in UPV that's doing the visualization. So no, just go back. Instead, I could also open up another app control here that was done with Power BI. So it's bringing those packages here into a skyline view, and when I select objects in the skyline according to their date, it will highlight those objects for me. So also Power BI integration is no issue anymore. On the other hand, we can also add other views and features. For example, if we want to have a Gantt diagram of our work packages, we can have that as well. So let me turn off the highlighting, and by clicking on the individual packages in my Gantt diagram, it's selecting the work packages here. So all in all, there's many more use cases to UPV7 and app controls. And I think time's just too short to show them all. Question is, what's next? So this is actually a bit of our digital twin roadmap preliminary. So this was still from December. With the video link to this webinar, we will be sending you the updated roadmap. I don't want to go into the details, but you will be able to read the details directly in the attachments to the recording mail. So all that's left for me to say is thanks for your time. If you happen to have any questions after the webinar that you haven't asked now, you can contact us anytime through info@CAXperts.com, support for technical support, or basically contact your personal CAXperts sales representative directly. Really, thanks a lot. Thanks for your time, and looking forward to talking to you again soon. Goodbye and have a great day.